Okay guys, we're back and we're gonna do something different. Yes, we are. We're going to be doing a different kind of pour. And we're not going to use silicone, but we're going to use a lot of fluids so that it is really fluid. So I chose these colors. For this I'm going to be using this. This is the acrylic artist fluid colors from Vallejo. And why I'm doing that is because this is already very fluid. So by the time it's mixed, it doesn't have that much water, because no matter what type of pouring you're going to be doing, you cannot, absolutely not put more than 30-40% water in the paint. That's just not a good thing. And I know a lot of people do that. And I know there are a lot of people that have successful channels, but they're putting a lot of water in the paint. And that's just something we're not going to do. I like to keep it professional, like they taught me at school. So what I'm mixing it with is this polymer medium, also from Vallejo. And that makes it really, really fluid. But there's no water, so there are lots of binders in there. And with a lot of binders, you get, of course, you get a good consistency on your canvas. And there's the hubby. I hear him. And the doggy. Okay, white. We're going to take white as a background color. And we need a lot of white. So we're going to, because we're going to put this all over the background also. Let's see how thick this is. It's still pretty thick. Let's put some more in. Maybe this will need a little bit of water. We'll see. Yeah, this one needs a little bit of water, but I'm putting in less than 5%. Let's see. Is it almost drippy? Almost. Okay, we're ready with it. So we're going to use these colors, and we're going to use the blow dryer. I'm going to put that away. Get our canvas. Ooh, I need a little bit more room, so I'm going to put these bottles back here. Put my little colors all in a row. There you go. Now I'm going to plug in my hair dryer. There we go, and then you can see my hair. Okie dokie, that's it. Now for this, of course, we're gonna give the background a nice layer of paint. That is still too thick. That is still too thick. We'll give it a little bit more. Because this is the technique. It needs really fluid colors, so that that looks better, so that the other paint is going to be doing its thing. I think I can do that better with a brush. Okay, a little bit more. Zippity-doo, zippity-doo. So let's spread it out. There we go, up here. And that way we'll get rid of the little air bubbles in there also, because we don't like the air bubbles. And of course we want to take care of the sides. A lot of people start doing this without any you know, background of painting, and that's perfectly okay. Don't get me wrong, but there are a couple of things you have to do. Never use a blank canvas. Well, never finish off with a blank canvas, because that tends to yellow really fast. That's very important. And never put too much water into your acrylic paints, because that's not good also. Here we go. There we are. Now, we're going to, like I said, let's see if this is drippy. Yeah, it's drippy. So I'm going to put it a little bit in the middle because I want to blow it out. A little bit here and a little bit there. And of course this pink, because this pink is gonna really give us a lot of color. And the turquoise, look at that. That looks really, really cool. But we're going to, I'm gonna give this another color. I don't like that green. When your green's too green, I think you have to give it a little bit of something to... That looks a little bit better. I'd like it to, you know, sort of... yeah, that's it. That's a lot better color. Now it fits with the rest of it. Okay. Now we're going to add a little bit of white, because we're going to blow it all over the place. Okay, here we go. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to just leave it like that. Now, of course, we're going to move it a little bit. But as you can see here, you got these little cells. They're not really cells, people. These are the effects of heavy and light pigments. So we can't really call them cells. They are what we call the paint density playing with each other. Here you can see it happening. Here you're going to see it pop up. I'm going to torch it, but just to show you, not much is happening. All I'm doing right now, because you see those little specky things, that's because there's air bubbles and they're popping, and then they show the underneath thing. But this technique is really nice to do the push, the paint push under, and I'll have to get a little bottle for that. We'll just let it move a little bit more. You're going to see it sort of doing its thing. This can take up to 45 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir up some more of the white. And I'm going to put that in a little bottle. There it is. Put the little, this thing on top. And then we're going to push it underneath like this, because I do want it to have a little bit more of a movement, which I'm not seeing right now, but I really like movement. Yeah, here maybe too. And I want some more negative space up here. And then we're gonna push it and pull it and push it until we think it's pretty. There we go. That's that. I have to clean off my hands a little bit. I do like the way the pink reacts with everything, so it gives a really nice feel. But as you can see, those cells are sort of disappearing because they don't have what we use with the pouring medium in it, and the gloss medium and the PVA glue, so they have no binding substance. But other than that, this is still pretty cool. Of course, I'm going to come in with my little bamboo stick, because I want to do something to it, like pull it off here this way. Gonna make it go over the edge a little. This one too. Just make it a little bit more dramatic. And up here. And down here. I just like sort of swirly things coming off it because it just gives me the just the different idea of a painting. So that's why I'm doing this. A little one down here. That way it's more like it's flowing off the canvas. So I'm gonna turn it around a little bit. Do the same thing down here. That's nice. I like it like that. I like how the colors react, and there's just a minimal of purple popping up. There's pretty much a lot of pink going all over the place, and the rest is the teal and the really pretty green we made. So that's about it. Now I have the sides covered because I did that on forehand. Maybe just here in the corner a little bit more green because it has to be like flowing over the side. But further than that, it's okay. So this is about how it's going to stay, because I see that here they're not cells, it's more blooming. It's bloomed out, and up here too, and round about here. So this is how it's going to stay. I think this is something that speaks to me because of the colors, not so much the cell structures, because there are none, but I really like the way the colors interact with each other, and it looks like a really bright and funny springy kind of thing. I don't know. But that's it. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and I'll put this one away, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna make another video because I got a lot of stuff to do this afternoon, but I was really early. See that? It's 11:35. So this is it. Nope, nothing moving. I'm just, just waiting a little bit to see if something else is going to move, and it's not. So, but maybe I can do another little experiment. That'd be cool. Wait a minute. Every time I do this, I'm thinking, oh, I'll just cut out that little bit, where I put the painting away. But then I never do. I don't know why that is. Somehow, it doesn't work. Now, this is really thin paint. Very thin. Really, really, really thin. It's almost to the thickness of milk, something like that. And a little bit more of the white, if we have some white. The white is really the heaviest. So we're gonna smack down the middle, and then we're gonna do this, and let's see what happens. It might even still be a little bit too thick for it to bloom. Let's put this on top, and we're gonna go straight over it with a big palette knife, maybe a little more, and then see if it blooms. I think it will. Be very careful. Okay, let it do its thing. There it goes. Now it looks a lot like cells, but it's not cells, because it is, see, when I torch it, nothing happens. So it's not really selling. It is the paint density playing, but I'm pretty sure you're going to like it from up close. Let's see if I got you in focus. There it is. See that? And there is not one drop of silicone in that paint. Look at that, even here it has this beautiful, let me see if I can get you in. Oh yeah, there you are. Even here there's a beautiful sort of lacing going on. And I would have really liked it if it had a little bit more color, a little bit more teal. I miss the teal. But as you can see here, they're still popping up because the white is the heaviest, so it goes down. The black is the lightest. And if you want to know something about paint density, then you can go to Google and Google golden. Golden has a color chart. And I know all paints are not the same, but you can sort of, can you see it growing? I'm sure you can. You can sort of see the colors that are lightest and the heaviest, and then you can do some experimenting with that. But this is still growing, and this is the downside of doing it like this. When I do my cells with the normal pouring medium stuff and the gloss medium and everything in it, when I torch it, that's how it stays. This not so much, because as you can see, it's still growing. If you don't believe me, take your slider underneath this video and slide it back a bit, and then you'll see the difference. I'm going to just let it sit here, and I'll show you the ones I did yesterday. Ew, and they're really stuck to the table, so I have to get them off. Uh-oh. Now one was really stuck. Now this is what I did yesterday, and as you can see, that is exactly what I did, and that's exactly how it stops. But not with this. This is still growing. Now this is the one I did yesterday, where I torched it anyway. As you can see, those cells are just as big as when I stopped. This one also, you can still see it's wet in the middle. But it is exactly like I stopped yesterday. And here you can still see it growing and growing and growing. I'll just let it run for a little bit more. And if you still don't see it, then slide it back the video a little bit, and you'll see what's happening here. That it goes smaller and bigger. You can see that. It's still pretty, but here it's sort of turning into a little bit of mud. But this here is still pretty. So I might use it for a pendant or something like that. Something here. Where's my pendant thing? I don't have a pendant thing. Or I might do it, put it in like this. Look at that. That is so pretty. Is that not pretty? I love it. Automatically, everything that's pink reminds me of water lilies. I don't know why that is, but it does. I'm going to let this grow, and I'm not going to talk anymore, guys. So in the end, you'll see what's happening. Well, I'll talk anyway. I bet some of you guys are laughing right now. Okay, see it's still growing? Yeah. So this is something you have to think about when you're doing a certain technique, because if you don't like how it grows, you're going to be very disappointed. Then if you don't like that, if you like it, you know, when I swiped it first, how it looked right there. If you like that, you'll have to be starting using the PVA glue, the gloss medium, and no Floetrol, because Floetrol, like it says, it flows. So it will sort of, if you do PVA glue, it sort of stays there, and the more Floetrol you put in, the more it'll flow. Now Floetrol, we do use it to give a special effect to the cells, because sometimes you get 3 rings in a cell because of the Floetrol. But we only use, like, if we're using a cup of paint like this, I will put like a tablespoon of Floetrol in it, not more than that. And I know that some people only pour with Floetrol, but then you get different effects. That's totally okay, but it's totally different. Okay guys, I think it's grown enough. You've seen that pink really grow. So I'm gonna sign off right now, clean up this big mess, and I might see you and I might not. I'm not sure, so I'll see you in a bit. Maybe. Bye.